Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to welcome everyone here tonight to this council meeting to hear the submissions on the 2020-2021 budget. As chair of the meeting, I give my consent for this open council meeting to be streamed live, recorded and published online in accordance with section 27 of Council's Local Law number 1 of 2019. Myself, as the Chair and/or CEO, have the discretion and authority to direct the termination or interruption of the live streaming. Such direction will only be given in exceptional circumstances where deemed relevant. Circumstances may include instances where the content of debate is considered misleading, defamatory, or potentially inappropriate to be published. The stream will stop at the conclusion of the meeting. The public is able to view the meeting online via Council's YouTube page by simply searching Golden Plains Shire Council. The direct link is also available on our website at goldenplains.vic.gov.au. Should technical issues prevent the continuation of the stream, a recording will be made available on our website. Due to COVID-19 pandemic, and in line with new guidelines from the Victorian Government, this meeting is not open to members of the public. Only councillors and essential staff members are in physical attendance tonight, with social distancing and hygiene requirements in place. The submitters who have registered to speak tonight will do so in virtual form. Before we progress with the submissions this evening, I would like to take a moment to acknowledge a significant achievement that was announced yesterday. As part of the Queen's Birthday Honour List, Bill MacArthur was awarded an Order of Australia Medal for service to local government and the community of the Golden Plains Shire. As Mayor of Golden Plains, I'd like to extend the congratulations of the Council and the whole Golden Plains community for this significant achievement to Bill MacArthur. As acknowledged by the award of the OAM, Bill has an extensive list of service in local government, and just a few of his commitments include serving as a local councillor for a remarkable 24 years, including a term as mayor from 2004 to 2005. In addition, Bill was the president of the Municipal Association of Victoria from 2009 to 2016 and served as a director and the vice president of the Australian Local Government Association for many years. As many appreciative residents will know, Bill has always been very active and involved in the Haddon community. He was a CFA volunteer with the Haddon Brigade for 18 years, the president of the Haddon Recreation Centre for 12 years, and a member of the Haddon Primary School Council for 14 years, including 2 as president. It is a remarkable resume, and yet there's even more. I'd encourage everyone to read the article on Bill's service to the Golden Plains Shire and regional Victoria in this week's Golden Plains Times newspaper. Again, on behalf of the Golden Plains Shire Council and our residents across the Shire, we thank Bill for his decades of community service and representation, and we congratulate him on his very well-deserved recognition to join the Order of Australia network. I will now recite the opening declaration on behalf of all councillors. We, the councillors of the Golden Plains Shire, declare that we will undertake on every occasion to carry out our duties in the best interest of the community, and that our conduct shall maintain the standards of the Code of Good Governance, so that we may faithfully represent and uphold the trust placed in this council by the people of Golden Plains Shire. Council would also like to acknowledge the traditional Wadawurrung owners of the land where we meet today. Council pays its respects to the Wadawurrung elders, both past and present, and extends that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people who are part of the Golden Plains Shire. Councillors, do we have any apologies or leave of absence? No. Any declarations of conflict of interest? No. The purpose of tonight's meeting is for Council to hear submissions relating to the 2020-2021 draft annual budget. At its meeting held on the 28th of April 2020, Council resolved to publicly exhibit the 2020-2021 draft annual budget in accordance with section 223 of the Local Government Act 1989. Submissions from the public were invited via email, hard copy mail, or through Council's website with a closing date of the 29th of May 2020. 9 public submissions were received, of which 4 submitters have requested to be heard in person at tonight's meeting. A copy of all submissions is included in tonight's agenda. Following tonight's hearing, the 2020-2021 draft annual budget will be presented to the 23rd of June 2020 Council meeting for final adoption. We have an order of proceedings for this meeting. Those who have registered to speak are virtually in attendance. All speakers are currently muted and will remain on mute until invited to speak. All speakers have 5 minutes in total. One bell will sound at 4 minutes. You will have 1 minute. One bell will sound at 4 minutes, reminding you have 1 remaining minute. 2 bells will sound at 5 minutes, indicating your time has expired. If you continue to speak after your time has expired, I note that I have the power to mute your speech. This forum is not intended for debate, so unless clarification is sought by councillors immediately following the presentation, the next speaker will be invited to present. Thank you very much. So I'll now invite the 4 submitters wishing to be heard.
Can you just give me 1 minute?
Yep.
So we've had a minor technical difficulty in terms of the Zoom, so we're just trying to fix that. No pressure back.
I've actually got them on my mobile phone, so they're still, whilst I get this back up. And then-
Would you like to stop for 5 minutes?
So the log image is not on the screen.
John, can you hear us?
Sorry, yes, thank you.
Just 1 moment. That's okay. Let me just.
See that sweat drop down.
Yes, yes. Okay, can you hear us, John?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Thank you very much, John. When you're ready, please proceed when you're ready.
Sorry, I couldn't hear what you said.
You're ready to go, John.
Oh, okay, I beg your pardon, thank you. Thank you. Thank you also for the opportunity to let us make a submission in accordance with the Local Government Act. Our submission raises a number of principal concerns about the draft budget, but in saying that we recognise that there are concerns, we also recognise the absolute dilemma that the council finds itself in that it really is deeply reliant on state government and federal government initiatives, and its ability to provide services and to deal with issues is constrained. The submission clearly recognises that. But having said that, the draft budget seemed to me to have been framed as business as usual. And it did not, to my mind, and in the mind of many people in Inverleigh, realistically address the hardship facing local communities, individuals, and particularly businesses. Now, the City of Geelong, by contrast, and the City of Melbourne have delivered draft budgets which do realistically address the post-COVID-19 world and makes proper allowances for hardship. And in that, not just existing hardship, but also the hardship that's likely to come in September and October when JobKeeper looks like it would stop. Now, it is also important to note that on the current data from the Australian Bureau of Statistics, the median income for Golden Plains Shire is a near $48,360. Now, that is not a huge sum of money by anybody's standards, but this budget imposes new charges and is going to make it more and more difficult for people who are on average incomes and almost impossibly challenging for those who are below it. Now, I've certainly read the response that Fiona Ray very kindly provided to me about the hardship policy that the council's put in place, but it seems to me that the suspension of recovery and debt proceedings doesn't really go that far at all, and it equally down the track is going to have some double-edged sword outcomes because cash flow is going to be reduced and it's going to delay the inevitable for ratepayers who are then going to have to find out on themselves. So I think that if there was a way that the council could also be brave, in the same way as the federal government and the state government have been brave, and even Parental Council has been brave, and trying to ensure that people are supported in this time of crisis. We also note that the council has added new fees and increased charges for local businesses, which include food trucks and animal breeders, but at the same time saying to all of us, well, we must be kind and support local business. Well, the council itself is not doing that respectfully by increasing local charges to all local businesses, dog breeders, animal breeders, and food truck operators in particular. The council says that only 2 food trucks are operating and they're mostly in the City of Geelong. But we're trying to stimulate markets. Inverleigh had a market with a number of food trucks that came along, all of which come within Shire. They're now going to be hit with a local charge. And I really do call on council to consider carefully whether it can reduce those. I've also made detailed comment about the new charge for recreational vehicles on private property. Respectfully, this is quite confusing given the provisions of the Road Safety Act, the Transport Accident Act and the TAC levy. It also penalises people who do the right thing in the community and buy electric recreational motorcycles or electric mountain bicycles, which are regarded as motorcycles by big roads, and they're absolutely silent. But the council's first response to my question was, well, people complain about the noise. Well, people do the right thing, and they're still going to have to pay. And I think that at the very least, electric motorcycles should be explicitly excluded. I also note that this charge is going to be reliant on people self-reporting, or the council coming on conducting inspections on people's properties, which is interferes with their quiet occupancy. The next major point we wanted to make is that one other way that the council could quite seriously consider making a gesture in return to the community that it in turn is asking for sacrifices to be made by reviewing the salary and wages budget, and also to address an issue that has been outstanding in council's budget for at least the last 2 or 3 years, and that is the staff turnover cost. It's one of the highest of any local government or in Victoria. Victoria according to Rate My Council, and this carries significant on costs for recruitment, training, departure packages, staff morale and poor service delivery, and the customer survey response is a testament to that. So that is something the council can well do to save money for the budget. I'm
Thanks.
also concerned with our ageing population, about aged care and support, that it's only funded to the extent of 2.3 million. There are people with disability who are not eligible for NDIA funding, and they now fall between two stools because the council is not funding it. Equally, there are people waiting for ACOS assessments for the Commonwealth, according to the weekend newspapers, some of which are as long as 18 months. So that too is something that I think is discriminatory against the aged and people with disability. Council's loan obligations are very, very high, and they mostly focus towards Bannockburn to the detriment of most other communities in the Shire. And again, I say that whilst this has been reduced by $1 million in this year, which is to be amended, it's not sufficient.
Thank
And
you.
also question.
Your time's up, John.
I refer you to paragraph 9 of my council, of the contribution policy, which explicitly states what my issues are there. And thank you very much for hearing me.
Thanks very much, John. Councillors, is there any questions or clarification from John's submission presentation? Councillor Evans.
How you going, John? Your item 7, the aged care and support funded, I believe it in the council, a lot of that funding has been taken over by the federal funding. So are you getting confused with that amount that it has been transferred across from council liability and thinking that we're dropping it, the contribution? Is there possible confusion there, or are we both confused?
My concern there, Councillor Evans, is in relation, particularly, I'll start, the NDIA is the simplest one. The response I got from council says NDIA provides funding for people with disabilities under the age of 65 who test eligible, and council is not required to provide these services. And it says the council do provide a community transport program. Now, there are many people who are not eligible for the NDIA, largely because of the very strict eligibility criteria. People can have a significant disability but not be eligible for NDIA funding. And my concern is that some of those people are now left without any support because there's some small support from the state government, but they don't get the generous NDIA funding. If someone is injured in a car accident, for example, or a workplace accident, they don't get the funding that the TAC or WorkSafe Victoria provide. So I do think that people who do have a significant disability, do require home services, really need to be looked at again by council, because if they don't get it from you, they're not going to get it from anyone at all other than from volunteers. And with aged care, I understand your point about the federal government funding more and more of these services, but they're not all the services that people necessarily require. And, you know, council does get some funding to support independence in homes where possible, and that's to be commended. But as I say, this funding is reduced, as council concedes on its own figures over the last 5 years due to funding splits. And as I say, I just am concerned that there's an element of our community that's losing out because of this. And I just think that this budget provides an opportunity to look really carefully at that.
Thanks very much, John. Thank you very much, Councillor Evans. Councillors, any further questions? Councillor Kirby.
Thank you, John, for questions tonight. Yeah, I'm just concerned about recreational vehicles as well on private property, and they're already being charged by the Victorian government, and here we are going to sting them again for riding on their own properties. So that's something I'm very concerned about. The other thing is there is a lot of funding happening in Inverleigh at the moment. There is some funding going towards the football netball club, and that would come out of the federal government, but councils had to fund the rest of that project. I'm also concerned that with the subdivision of different land within Inverleigh, that we aren't looking at the big picture, especially for small businesses. And as you said in your, not just now, but in your report, that the amount of subdivision that is happening within the Shire, I don't think we're proactive enough in helping small businesses and to set up smaller areas, small pockets of industrial land for some of these businesses. So we're bringing all these people into the Shire, but at the same time we're relying on Ballarat and Geelong too much for
Sorry,
work.
Councillor Kirby, is there seeking clarification or a quick question from John? Not
Just clarification on that.
I support what you say, Councillor Kirby.
Thank you. And regarding the rates from, that we should be more compassionate with our ratepayers, do you think that this year round, because other councillors are reducing their rates because of the COVID crisis at the moment, that I think us councillors should be a little bit more compassionate in reducing the rate burden this year?
I do, and I think that if the
Sorry,
rate
Councillor,
could
I'll just
be
pull you up there, John, sorry.
this budget, potentially to be reviewed this time next year, I think that would make a huge difference to so many people in our community, as it has done in other local authority areas in Victoria and other parts of Australia. And there are people in our communities who are doing it very, very tough at the moment. And hopefully by this time next year, people will be back on track and all of this will be a distant memory. But if it's not, things are going to get really bad, I fear, once JobKeeper stops. And people are just not going to have the money to pay all of these extras. And if there was any way there could be a short-term rate reduction, and potentially even if it was means-tested somehow, I think that would have huge support in the community. I really do, and I think the council would be commended if it was able to entertain that.
Thank you, John.
Thank you very much. Councillor, any further questions or clarification on the statement? No. Thank you very much, John. Thank you much for your time this evening, and thank you.
No, well, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
So next we have Barbara Bray.
Are you there, Barbara?
Hello, yes.
Hi. You can talk now.
Oh, okay. Thank you for inviting me to speak tonight. I'll speak on an environmental issue. I'd like to discuss the method by which some of us can individually do something to tackle the problem of climate change, which I understand concerns 100% of the community. Several of us have properties containing natural habitat, which we've maintained and enhanced by planting more locally indigenous trees and shrubs and removing weeds and feral animals over many years. In order to protect the health and retention of these ecosystems, we have invested in Trust for Nature covenants, which are valid on and on from owner to owner in perpetuity, so nobody can wreck the work that the first person has done. The owner is responsible for the costs of maintenance work on the property, and Trust for Nature personnel give advice and check that maintenance is satisfactorily carried out. That is, there's no cost to the council in this business. I therefore wonder if council, in recognition of the owner's work, which is of benefit to the whole area, could perhaps reward the owners by a substantial rate reduction on the covenanted area of their properties, as they can earn no income from such a property. Perhaps this would also encourage other individuals to protect their natural habitat areas in perpetuity by Trust for Nature covenants. The more the better in this time of crisis. 17 other Victorian shires do already support environmental covenants by a rate rebate of 50 to 100% for the area protected, or 20 to 30% reduction in recognition of work done, which is beneficial to the shire. I just wanted to put that out and it's a very brief discussion, but here's a good quote from the latest Trust for Nature Habitat magazine. Nature is a big part of the solution to ending extinction, solving the climate crisis, and reconnecting our common ties. So let's do what we can to look after it. Okay,
Thank you.
that's all I want to say today.
Thank you kindly, Barbara. Councillors, is there any questions? Councillor Evans.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Barbara, look, what you said is very relevant today, and I think moving in that direction is very important. Now, my understanding with property set aside for nature, that I think it's DEL, they help fund that. Correct me if I'm wrong, there's a degree of funding that comes through, but you have to show that you actually do the on-ground work annually. And could you just confirm that, if that's the case? And
Well, I don't know anything about that. I've done all the work myself on my property.
Okay. Now, that stuff that you put away in trust, you haven't actually looked at that as a possible funding source for, the removal of the animals and plantings and whatever? Because I believe there is
Okay.
amount
There is
that
cover. I've always, paid for it myself and done it myself, and I didn't think there was any cover for such
Okay.
things.
But I do agree with you, it'd be nice if the council could get rate relief on that land, because it is an environmental, package put aside, and I think that's a worthy thing for us to discuss. Thank you.
Good, but the thing about the covenant, the Trust for Nature covenant, is that it's in perpetuity, and they keep, checking on it from owner to owner, so it's not, you could put a ton of work into property, and then, when I cark it, then what happens? Somebody could turn it into a farm again or something, but no, because it's got the Trust for Nature covenant on it, it's protected in perpetuity, so nobody is allowed to cut down the trees and destroy the environment that has been established. And that, to me, is the vital part of things, because when I was doing my earlier work, I was just delighted when I heard about Trust for Nature covenants. It was such a relief to be able to have something that kept going. That was neat.
Thank you kindly, Barbara. Councillors, any further questions? Thank you very much, Barbara, for your time this evening.
Well, thank you for inviting me. It would be nice to have a meeting when everybody was together, but that's not possible these days.
Great.
Thank you anyway.
Thank you kindly. Our next submission speaker this afternoon is David Head.
David, are you there?
Yes, okay, here we go. Can you hear me?
We can, thank you, David.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, for the opportunity of addressing you this evening. And my thanks to Fiona for her prompt response to my submission, which I received, and which answers many of the questions I raised. My first issues were the amount of money being spent on governance and corporate planning. Fiona's given me some input to that, and I've had a look at the budget since then. I guess the only comment I would make there, my understanding is we have a satisfaction rating of 47.5% on those two items. And clearly, we need to let go game on that, we being, of course, you. There's actually the third item I raised, where I had established a variance between the remuneration allowances for councillors and the mayor versus what was in the draft budget. Further investigation has shown me something I hadn't realised, and that is that in addition to the allowance in the category, which is category 1 at the moment, we are in fact paying councillors a superannuation of 9.5%. That's in the Act, and basically that's what we're paying. Surprisingly enough, however, we're paying top dollar. I say top dollar in as much that if I look at category 1, do the calculations, we are paying an allowance which is only $2 per week, less than the absolute maximum of category 1. Now, because you get an increase of 2% every year, or since 2% every half year, I should say, it seems to me the pain we're all experiencing is not being shared by the councillors with their allowances and so on, and with the staff. So I would put a case forward for sharing the pain, because as John mentioned a moment ago, there's a lot of aggro out here. I'm a self-funded retiree. I work to the age of 68 in order to get an SDEC, which I hope will keep me in good stead. By my calculation, this year, my income will be reduced by 30%. Whether I will have to ask for a delay in paying my rates at the moment, I don't know. But certainly, we are now looking at our costs on a much more critical basis. So how about the councillors look at their remuneration and maybe reduce it? I do understand from a conversation I had with Councillor Evans that he tried to do this some time ago, but was denied. So I'm asking the councillors to step up and join us in sharing the pain. And bear in mind, this superannuation you're getting, I'm not sure how it's administered. If you get a PAYE, your allowance every year, then my understanding is the supplier, or in this case the council, should do the superannuation for you. If on the other hand you're contractors, you need to do it yourself. Whether that's a legal requirement, I don't know, but from a ratepayer point of view, it's certainly a moral requirement that I should ask you, if you're getting superannuation, you should damn well put it into a superannuation fund. I hope you're doing that. The next point I raised was the Banner and Bowls Club. Now, I believe a geotech survey has been carried out, and I believe there may well be additional costs as a result of that. I hope council will not be putting any more money into the bowls club. I say that because bowls is a declining sport. I don't think the club in Bankman has more than about 70, 75 members. On a current estimate, we're going to put, with our contribution and the government's contribution and their contribution, $7,000 per member into that club. Moving on to, oh, that quickly, oh golly, time goes quickly, doesn't it? Yeah, the loan, the $9.5 million loan for the city centre. Still no indication of who's supplying that loan, although the figure of 1.88% is there, and I assume that is what's being negotiated. If not, I think you need to tell us as ratepayers just where the money is coming from, and if you have established the 1.88 that's in the draft budget. What else do we have here? Okay, I think that covers my main points, as I say. Fiona was kind enough to give me some answers, and I'll take that as the end of my statement. Thank you.
Thank you very much, David. Councillors, is there any questions?
So what was that?
Just seeking questions from councillors. It appears we have no questions, David, so thank you very much for your time this afternoon, this evening.
Thanks.
Just one point, thanks. I omitted to thank you for the elimination of gross tax or the gross payment. I've been living here for many, many years and been paying this gross for that length of time. So it behoves me to thank you for that. And as a supporter of the municipal charge, I think the 2% increase is supportable. Thank you.
Thank you very much, David. Our final presenter this evening is Cameron Steele, who is visually in front of us on the screen there. Cameron, when you're ready.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and councillors. Firstly, I'd like to verbally congratulate the council group and staff for being prepared to address rating differentials in the budget. Because it's all available to you to drive a fair rating outcomes, and I appreciate the work that was involved. I also discussed in my written submission the extremely high staff turnover rate of 23.38 from the last annual report. I suggested an audit be conducted to ascertain why it's one of the highest in the state. The link I offered in my submission, including a template for better assessing the significant cost of such a churn of staff, will be having on the budget, and I asked that it be considered by the councillors. But my main focus is on the current crisis and council rates, which has already been covered by several of the submitters. It's a fundamental truth that people are often reluctant to ask for assistance. My wife's profession of accountancy has seen a marked rise in members falling victim to mental issues involved with dealing with the stresses of the current crisis. There will be many residents who may well find themselves in serious financial difficulties who will not reach out to secure relief from the Shire, but will undoubtedly be extremely grateful and assisted by a freeze on their rates. Gold Plains residents spent many years dealing with significant rate increases, which really only curtailed due to rate capping. There was ever a time to consider paying back the strain that inflicted on family budgets, it would be now. But it isn't just the monetary value of a rate freeze would represent. It would also impart a sense that the Shire is prepared to actively shoulder some of the burden, to do its part, and to be seen as empathetic to the situation many of our residents are currently facing. In response to my written submission, I was told the rate freeze would result in cumulative losses of, quote, millions of dollars. This is only true if the intention was to keep yearly rate increases at the maximum allowable, or that no top-up funding becomes available from the state government to assist councils who adopted the rate freeze. This year, I believe, it represents a figure of around about $400,000. I understand that rate capping has been a challenge for shires, particularly fast-growing ones like ours, but we all understand that as councillors, you are not simply acting as board directors of the company, rather you are here to manage the intersection between the needs of the organisation and the needs of the community. When rate notices are due in February, the JobKeeper and JobSeeker allowances will have ended. The pressures of housing developments and inflation on the council budget may well have dissipated to a degree. The difficulties for people in the economy struggling to restore itself will likely remain and could be significant. For these and the other reasons stated earlier, I ask that the council group revisit the question of delivering a rate freeze within this budget. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Steele. Councillors, is there any questions? Councillor Evans?
Thank you through the Mayor. Cameron, you quoted needs for understanding the differences between the organisational needs and the ratepayers. Could you explain this out a bit clearer there?
I think it's incumbent on the council staff and those within the organisation to present to council the budget which best suits the organisation. But it's up to the councils themselves to bring the needs or, put a human face to that is probably the best description I can give. And I think that's how our local government system has been arranged, and I think it's it then is a responsibility of the council group to really consider the impacts on a crisis like the one we're having on the general ratepayer group, and bring that human face to the budget that you're considering at the moment.
Thank you.
Any further questions, councillors? Councillor Kirby?
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Thank you for your questions tonight, Cameron. One of the things that I was thinking was a 1% rate increase, not so much 2% or a freeze on our rates. I think we need to be accountable because people have lost their jobs. We don't know what's going to happen in the next few months, so we all have to look at the big picture. I thought that 1% it would still keep our staff employed, keep things moving within the Shire, but at the end of the day, this is a 1 in 100-year event, what we're going through at the moment. Hopefully this never happens to anyone again within the next 100 years. But I just feel that we need to be accountable to our ratepayers and to what projects they're delivering in the next 12 months. So I'm just hoping that by putting it forward that even a 1% rate increase could come to fruition and help out our communities.
So, Councillor
Thank you,
Kirby.
Councillor Kirby. Look, I accept that a 1% increase is certainly better than 2%. I just think about the message that it sends, that if you're able to, my understanding is that with the childcare at the moment, that issue has been resolved, and according to the reasons why you looked at privatising the childcare, that was to save council money. With that, as I understand that getting over the line, to me, I think there's a very strong case for just drawing that line in the sand and saying we're supporting the community by a rate freeze. To take it from, we're talking about $200,000. If we're looking at 2% being 400,000, we're talking about 1% being 200,000. It still is a significant amount of money, but the message I can send that this council is really supporting its ratepayers and understanding what they're facing and showing real empathy, I think shouldn't be underestimated. I think the words rate freeze really do resonate, and I'd encourage the council to consider it.
Thank you, Cameron.
Councillor Gilbert.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Cameron, I was just pondering your conversation then about the rate freeze for all residents. I'm just wondering whether you might think that it might be more appropriate to have a more robust plan or a more robust for hardship policy as opposed to for those that are really suffering, rather than giving a small amount which might equate to say $40 or $60 for everybody, when there would be some that have not been affected by loss of jobs or those sorts of things. I'm just wondering whether you think it would be more appropriate to have a more robust hardship plan.
Thank you for the question, but I think I might have explained it in the start of my presentation. I basically reinforce the fact that many people do not ask for assistance. In my wife's profession, as I said, with the accountants, these aren't people who are reaching out, who find themselves right at the end of the tether, who aren't reaching out and subsequently being lost to us. So I do remember when Treasurer Josh Frydenberg announced that the JobKeeper and JobSeeker wasn't to be means tested and called it the Australian way. I've got some sympathy for that approach, and I think it's relevant here as well. I think if we can do whatever we can to universally take some pressure off, that would be my course of action that I would recommend. But given, those who do step forward in extreme hardship, we're also given what assistance we can give. But no, I would prefer, Councillor Gilbert, to see a universal assistance through rate relief or rate freeze.
Thank you.
Thank you. Just a question for myself, Cameron, on pretty much sort of a follow-on question from Councillor Gilbert with regards to a rate freeze, which is nice terminology, but we don't have the power to freeze everyone's rates. People's rates will go up and down accordingly. But in your submission here, you supply a little photo here of equity, and just following on from Councillor Gilbert's question in regards to equity, and if we were to reduce our budget by 2%, which for most people that are doing it quite hard at the moment, the average ratepayer will see a reduction in the rates of about 80 cents per week. Yet the likes of Woolworths or our big shops or our big ratepayers in the Shire will see substantial savings. They will see savings of hundreds of dollars. I'm just wondering how you feel that is equitable for the likes of Woolworths or businesses that have probably excelled or done better during this period of time, why they should see that discount that you're talking about, as opposed to the genuine people that are doing it hard and speaking to the community. I think I'd probably disagree. There is people out there that are doing it hard and are calling in council or speaking to us as councillors, but how do you feel that rate freeze of equity supporting those big businesses is fair?
Thank you, Mayor Sharkey. Look, it's probably almost a philosophical question in a way. It comes down to whether wealthy people should be able to access public health systems. The fact that a Woolworths does receive a significant decrease in the rates, I think we should accept as part and parcel of a rate freeze. I don't see it as probably as problematic as you do. It's just the message that it sends, I think, is significant. And I know we can say it's trite terminology, but I think people do value a sense that everyone is contributing, and a rate freeze is a way of sending that message, and I think it's an important message to send. I understand the difficulty that you guys are in, and I understand your question and where you're coming from. It's just that universality is something I support, and I think it's simple. We've got to be wary about creating winners and losers. I think there's, or at least a sense of that. Whereas this way, it's an approach by a councillor that I think is a good, strong, simple message showing that you have that empathy for the broader community, and I'd encourage you to take that approach.
Thank you very much, Cameron. Councillors, any further questions? Councillor Evans?
Thank you, Cameron. You did talk about the situation with the high staff turnovers and the associated costs there. Would it be your preference that that is actually line itemed in a budget as a transparent cost of council, which is also a proper way of opening governments up and transparency?
Fully supportive of that, Councillor Evans. I think the link I gave to the study at the City of Mitcham in South Australia set out a template for working out the cost of turning over the various positions within a council. If we're looking at programs or costing up programs that might help mitigate staff turnover, then you need to be able to weigh them against the cost of that turnover. So if, you know, I did some rough calculations of $600,000 being the excess, having a staff turnover far in excess of the state average. You know, if we were to put $300,000 into programs to bring that back to the state average, then that would be money well spent. But without knowing the true cost, or at least attempting to assess it, I think those decisions won't be made. So, yes, I'm fully supportive.
Thank you.
Councillor Hansford.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Thank you, Cameron, for being on tonight. Do you think it would be better to focus on shifting a number to bring it back closer to the state average, or would it be best to focus on having the right people in the right jobs that are going to be in a better benefit for our communities into the future?
Thank you for the question, Councillor Hansford. And this is why, in my submission, I actually called for an independent audit. Without knowing why staff are leaving or why we have this turnover, we can't make that assessment. And look, I'm not saying it's a matter of workplace culture, because we don't know. I'm not saying it's a matter of the fact that TAC you know, came to Geelong, which is what was in the response to me when I raised this question. Because we don't know, we can't make those value judgments. And I think one of the first steps would really be to sit down and get somebody independent in to just have a good look, see what the reasons are. If those reasons are beyond the council's control, then so be it. But I think it is a significant cost, and I think to have a figure of 23.8%, I think has to raise questions, and those questions, as a council group, I would hope that you seek to have them properly answered. Once you have, then you step forward from there. But I think we're all scratching our heads at the moment, and we'd probably like better concrete answers, because ratepayers are funding that turnover. And I think yourselves and ratepayers do deserve more concrete answers. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Cameron. Thank you, Councillor Hansford. Councillors, any further questions? Councillors, I require a motion to receive and note submissions from the 2020-2021 draft annual budget. Can I have a mover? Moved Councillor Gilbert, seconded Councillor Hansford. All those in favour? Motion is carried. I'd like to thank everyone that's tuned in this evening. Thank you very much for the IT team for doing a fantastic job. And for those that have tuned in and taken the time to publicly or get on Zoom and phone call, thank you very much for your time this evening, and look forward to our next council meeting, which will be on the 23rd of June 2020. With there being no further items of business, I declare the meeting closed at 6:55 p.m. Thank you.